Welcome to the ITM Podcast.
This is episode 256 of the ITM Podcast, the official Boston Red Sox podcast of the CLNS Media Network, brought to you by PrizePicks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network, and by Game Time Tickets, the best place to buy tickets online to sports cards, start your favorite events in the Boston Red Sox. They got him. They got Garrett Crochet for nothing. Scott, for nothing. I'm Joey Copponi and Scott Neville. Scott, how you doing?
I'm good. I disagree with it for nothing, but I'm good.
It was nothing. It was nothing. Scott, on this show, we're just going to start right with the return, or with the exchange. I said on this show, if you can trade Wilyer and Teel and another prospect, do it. And we were kind of on the same page that, like, that probably doesn't get it done. Yep.
I don't know. I thought would get it done. I didn't believe Bowden for a second.
You didn't?
We could go back into the archives here. I talked about, I used Dylan Cease as the example. First of all, we should probably say what the actual return was before we start talking about what it could have been and what other people thought it would be.
Yeah, listen, the Boston Red Sox got Garrett Crochet from the Chicago White Sox. And in return, they sent Kyle Teel, Braden Montgomery, Chase Meidroth, and Wikelman Gonzalez. Now, what's funny is 3 out of 4 of those guys left before we could 100% with certainty say their names correctly. So that's something. Kyle Teel was always the most tradable of the big four. Always. Every time in my head, and this is not just me, I'm not giving myself credit here, although I did fucking nail it. Anytime we talked about moving one of the big four, I was like, move Teel. Move Teel. He's a high pick. He's accelerated through the system fast. He's a catcher. Get rid of him. And because Teal's ceiling, according to Sox prospects, other places, is like an average bat and above average defense. That's like what Kyle Teel is slated to top out at. And yeah, that's an asset that you need. But when you're a team like the Boston Red Sox, that's not a position and a quality of player that you need to grow internally. That's the kind of guy you draft, develop, trade. And that's what they did. They fucking nailed it. I cannot believe, Scott, 0 of their 3 prospects that are in Baseball America's top 10, 0 big leaguers. And yes, Montgomery, Meidroth, and Gonzalez, all are guys that we have talked about crossing the threshold and coming to the big leagues in the next couple of years. There's no way that they all do. There was never a world where they all did. This is what you do with prospects. I know we've spent a long time not winning. We've spent a long time looking to the future. We've spent a long time just watching the prospects, getting minor league TV, watching the Worcester games, saying, oh, and this guy, oh, look at Meidroth's the arm angle when look, this guy's fucking
Everyone's talking about Meidroth's arm angle. Everyone's talking about it.
Everyone was talking about it. They're like, God, he looks like Jeter or something. I don't know. And these comps are like, oh, it's actually, Meidroth is going to be Kyle Tucker. That's his comp. It's like,
everyone was saying that.
Everyone was saying that too.
Yeah.
And it's fun to do, but like, prospects do one of 3 things. They either work out the way you think they're going to, they don't work out the way you think they're going to, or you trade them away for a big league stud. And that's exactly what they did. This is a fucking 12 out of 10 trade to me. What do you think? What you got?
Dude, I got so many thoughts. I could do this for an hour.
That's what we're going to do.
Right. So, first of all, the point I was going to make about the overall Hall situation, I just want to remember that it was November 25th when Jim Bowden said that it would take Tristan Casas, Willie Abreu, and Connor Wong to get close to landing Crochet.
Yeah.
And I spent so much more time than probably people wanted to listen to about how ridiculous that was, and then I brought the C Steel into it and whatever. So that I just want you to remember that next time there is a mock trade that you see for a impending player, and it involves three core players, or an insane haul where you go, oh, that's just the price that you pay. No, that's ridiculous. The fact that guy has a job is insane. I'm glad that he does, though, because that's the type of shit that's really stupid that we get to use on all of my various platforms. Anyway, a lot of people took that and ran with it. As far as the actual deal goes, I think there's a way it goes right. And I'm not talking about how anything about Crochet performing, anything like that. This offseason, I think there's a way you can do this the right way, and then there's a way where this was immensely stupid. So right now, as is, let's talk about going wrong. Mm-hmm. You get Crochet. You trade 2 of your top 5 prospects. A lot of people didn't know about Braden Montgomery because we just signed him as a first-round pick. He hasn't really he's not been a Red Sox yet. He is a very, very exciting prospect. Kyle Teel, you talked about it, but he would have been perfect with Connor Wong. It would have been he would have been a good player.
Any catcher will be good.
Okay, right, sure, whatever. Fine. I think he was a good player. He's part of the big 3 for a reason. He did everything. He was a guy that when they drafted him, it was like, whoa, he probably shouldn't have fallen that far. And then everything he did after that was like, yep, this aligns with we believe in this guy. We're surprised we got this guy, and he is living up to incredibly high expectations. And so if you say we got Crochet and then you don't spend money and that was the move, that is stupid. That is so dumb. If the rest of the moves going forward are we get just Teoscar or just a big league, reliever or something like that, I think this is immensely stupid because you were willing to go 7 years, 190 or whatever it was for Max Fried. You could have gone just a little bit more, and you could have had the best farm system in baseball and an ace for a little bit more dollars.
Okay, wait. We don't know that the Red Sox were given an option to do that.
What do you mean?
We don't know that they didn't hear that Yankees offer and snatch it up.
What do you mean?
I'm saying the last Red Sox offer,
and then instant sign.
That's kind of what it sounds like. I mean, you usually hear that they get a final bid, or that they back out, or that they aren't willing to match, or whatever. None of that has happened at all.
The industry expectation was that if it was equal, he would have picked the Red Sox over the Yankees.
Right.
So I find it weird that they wouldn't have had an opportunity to match if that was his preference, all things the same. Regardless, I'm saying there, and then there's also, like I said, Burns is still out there. So even reactionary, you can still make this right, and it doesn't have to be Burns, but let me finish the take. But what I'm saying is you've severely damaged your farm system to get an ace when you could have had him for just money. So if you don't get, if the idea is, hey, we're going to get Burns and Crochet, then it makes a lot of sense because you're not going to get 2. You're not going to pay for 2 probably, and that's a level where I'm like, okay. Or if you want to get really creative, I wouldn't love this strategy, but at least it would be an excuse not to spend if they went Crochet with Tanner Scott, Jeff Hoffman, an elite bullpen there, and then you get either Teoscar Hernandez, Anthony Santander. I know you don't want Alex Bregman, but that's a lot of money. If they spend and do this, I'm like, okay, I get it. That was just you're playing. You have all these resources. This is how you're going to use both to maximize. But if this is what they say, if they go, this is it, and then maybe they go Bueller or Flaherty, or they make another trade, which is we're going to obviously get into, that just to me is super dumb when you could have just spent money to get an ace. That's always been my take. Why trade 2 top 5 prospects to get an ace, who, by the way, you have to pay as well, or you could just pay a guy?
Okay, first of all, they got 2 years of fucking Crochet. They got 2 years. It's not like this is like a rental. I mean, the plan is also or was anyway, when the trade talks happened last deadline, that when Crochet got moved, he wanted to be extended.
Right.
I don't know if that's that he just doesn't want to bounce around or that he just doesn't want to deal with the headache of free agency. But I am hoping and would imagine that there's some kind of handshake deal in place of like, yeah, come here. We'll work something out before the season starts. I think we're both in the same ballpark.
I don't think that's absurd, but that's kind of my point is last year it was more like I'm not going to exceed an innings limit I've never touched before because I could blow up my elbow.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of was the thing last year is I wouldn't do it without the guaranteed life contract of, hey, if I blow up my elbow now, my value's gone. I've never pitched this many innings before. I think that was the emphasis last year. Wouldn't be shocked if he, if that's what he wants this year. That's not ideal if they can't come to terms, whatever. But I agree with you. But then that's my point. Like if he wants an extension this offseason, then you just traded 2 prospects and you paid for a guy that, like, you paid Ace money and you gave up 2 prospects where you could have just paid Ace money. And again,
it's a different guy. It's a different guy. It's a way younger guy. It's a 31-year-old Max Fried versus a 25-year-old Garrett Crochet.
It's a younger, significantly more injured, significantly less proven version of Max Fried. Yes.
Listen, I'm not saying they shouldn't have spent on Fried. Like I'm just also trying to remain positive on this. I think it's fucking ridiculous. I don't want to get all angry on the show because I feel like that's like maybe not fitting the vibe of Red Sox Nation right now.
Not today.
But I was livid and posted a couple of videos on Twitter about how mad I was.
Yep.
Just with how the Fried stuff was handled, but they just decided to not engage in a bidding war. That it was supposed to be a bidding war. Then they just said, nah, you guys can have them and let them go to the Yankees. I don't know if they had a hard cap in mind or if they didn't want to give the 8th year or what it was, but I don't know. To not engage and remain competitive for Fried, very weird. But I would reframe this as like now that this massive acquisition was a trade, they just have the ability to spend now. Like now they've just have the same amount of capital that they did before. And I know it is 2 top 5 prospects, but it's a number 4 and 5.
Sure, yeah, but your 4 and 5 are better than a lot of 1 and 2s elsewhere.
Right, but you still have your 1, 2, and 3 prospects.
I agree, and that's why I said, like, what you just said is true. I'm not saying this is a bad move overall. I'm saying they can make this a really good move, and they can make this a really bad move based on the rest of it. The thing that scares me is I tried to come up with the how you do this right, and Burns is like immediately you did it right. There's nothing else to talk about. They don't need to sign another free agent. That's obviously going to go how it goes. We don't know about that one. The alternative, though, of like how could they spend enough money where it would be like valid to me that you traded 2 prospects instead of just paying for an ace? Like I said, like the names I came up with were like Tanner Scott, Jeff Hoffman, and then one of the corner outfielders who, I'm not out. Like I'm not a huge Teoscar Hernandez. I don't think he's going to have a great contract. Like I think last year was awesome. I don't think the life of his next deal is going to be fantastic. I think he's going to get a good overpaid, just like how it seems like a lot of people are getting inflated contracts right now. Santander, you got to put him in left. He's not great at he's not really mobile. I think he's a great hitter, but not in love with whoever we end up with at right field already. So like that big contract comes in, I'm not going to be like elated. It'll be like it'll help, but it's going to be like with Teoscar, they bundled that so badly last offseason. You can't get that out of your head where it's like you could have had him without the qualifying offer. Now you're going to get the qualifying offer and spend more money on him, regardless of how much he can help this year. That is going to go down as one of the dumber things that happened to the Red Sox the last couple of years. That's my only concern. But like I said, I'm not upset right now. I'm just, again, a lot of history of the Red Sox doing some really, stupid shit, and also a lot of history of them coming in second place in free agency, and that hasn't changed. I
Mm-hmm.
do like the fact that yesterday the idea was that they weren't even close with Crochet. They didn't even really care about it. And then the second Fried signed, it was like no more screwing around. Maybe they'll continue to be this way with, say, Burns or whatever. But remember, it wasn't too long ago that we were talking about them going after Soto and an ace, or two of the big three, two of which
Right.
are already gone. So,
Right.
I mean, great move. I hate to be, I feel like I'm the only one -1 today, but I do feel like you got to agree that if they don't do anything else and they could have just paid a little more for Fried, this was stupid.
I think I have a different level of what I would consider a successful offseason here. And I'll tell you exactly what I think a successful offseason looks like for the Boston Red Sox from here out, after I tell you about my good friends over at Prize Picks. You can run your game all season long on Prize Picks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with Prize Picks, the best place to get real money action while watching your favorite sports. You can now win up to 200 times your money on Prize Picks. Prize Picks puts their members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. That's nothing. That's a moment in time. PrizePicks now offers MasterCard for quick and easy deposits into your account this sports season. Join now because this holiday season, PrizePicks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during, you know what this is called, Scott?
It's called Taco Tuesday. We still don't know why.
Nope. This one's called Pixmas.
God damn it.
Sign up today and get
ridiculous.
$50 instantly when you play $5. You don't even need to win to receive the $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that can lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday.
Oh,
Each
come
Tuesday,
on.
PrizePicks discounts selects player projections for up to 25% to provide even more value to your lineup. So download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. So download the app, use code CLNS, and get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. Run your game.
Those guys. Takes me 10 episodes to get that Taco Tuesday thing. You're throwing me a curveball. That was.
Yeah. It's Pixmas season.
They get what's up with for the first, I don't know, year of these deals.
Yeah.
We didn't have this terminology. It was just, bet on how many strikeouts this guy's going to get. Now all
You're
of a
not doing
sudden,
that.
you get
You're
all
picking.
these
You're
fun
picking. You're
nick-
picking. You're picking. You're not doing that word. You're picking.
Right.
Daily fantasy
Right.
sports.
Right.
Right. I think after looking at the rotation, right, I tweeted it out. I mean, put them in whatever order you want, but it's Crochet, Giolito, Houck, Bayo, Crawford is your rotation right now. If that's your opening day rotation, I feel good about it. If you add Flaherty, Manaea, even a guy like that, Sonny Gray, people are talking
Walker
about.
Buehler is the right answer.
Walker Buehler. I love Walker Buehler. Yeah, I feel great. Corbin Burns, I think, is gone. I think that's like not happening. Which does open the door to spend on somebody like Teo. So I mean, if it's Buehler and Teo from here out, fucking good. Win of an offseason and a Crochet extension. Good offseason. Like maybe like the American League is kind of cheeks. I think that team is a deep run postseason team.
I agree. I
don't think it takes much. Like I don't think you need listen, I'd love Corbin Burns. I'm just saying I don't think I need him to feel like it's a successful offseason for the Boston Red Sox. This can be their biggest move of the offseason, and I'd be very happy. It just can't be the only one.
Yeah, I need money spent to make it seem like it was a worthy investment. I mean, now I will say one thing that I am being a little too hard on is the fact that you did get, with Fried, it would have been a 30-year-old for 8 years, so 30 to 38. That's what happened,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
where with Crochet you get the extension. You're now getting a 25-year-old till you might be getting ages 25 to like 32.
Mhm.
This is a positive show. This is a positive show.
You can also, I mean,
Are we a little worried about the second half?
the other rumor?
No. The second half of Crochet last season. Because I don't have the
No.
numbers in front of me, but okay.
No.
He's on a
No,
pitch
I
count.
mean, listen, you're on the Chicago White Sox. And he was on an innings limit. Like every start, he was going 4 innings.
Yep. So if you give up, one run.
I know Jimmy Murphy decided to, or was not Jimmy Murphy, Jim Murray? One of them.
Yeah, Jim Murray would.
Yeah. It's Jim Murray who was like, oh, yeah, look at his ERA in his last 6 starts or whatever. Like, yeah, he went 4 innings every one intentionally. Yeah. And when you have that few innings and you blow up one time, yeah, your numbers look like shit. And also, it's the end of a season where you're the worst fucking baseball team to ever exist. So, no, I don't hold that over him at all. No. His stuff is so fucking nasty, dude.
You know, it'd be kind of crazy.
What?
If we got this, like, filthy, funky delivery Chicago White Sox that just broke down every August or September.
You're saying like a lefty with like a funky delivery?
Yeah. That would just like it would just got like, whatever reason when he hit that time, like I don't know, number in the 40s.
Well, why don't we wait till he gets hurt once, win a World Series with him, and then give him a big ass extension? What about that? Then the injuries will be behind him.
I think that is just that just makes sense.
That's how you GM.
Because as you deal with injuries, you go, oh, that was his big one. So
nice.
That's not going to happen again. Good thing
we got that injury out of the way.
He's been hurt 7 years in a row, so he's probably never going to get hurt again because that's a career's worth of injuries right there.
Might as well sign him to age 50. He's good for a while. Yeah, you can bank those things like travel points.
It doesn't matter how much money you give him; it's not going to be a bad deal. Anywho,
what could possibly happen?
I will say,
there's no way I can start to think about Garrett Crochet in the same light as Chris Sale.
I know.
I can't even begin to think that. You're much lower on this deal than me. I can feel it.
Yeah. I don't want to be. I look at the cards in front of me, and you gave up 2 incredibly valuable assets, and it just feels like you could have got a same quality of player.
I mean, I was expecting, because at first the return was not.
Unless you use the money.
The return wasn't published at first. I was so expecting to see Tristan Cassis' name.
The only reason I wasn't, because the tweet I saw was McWilliams, where he said Teel. He said Teel is the only prospect.
Mm-hmm.
And then that to me, like, you don't find out about Teel before Casas if you're getting insider info. Like, that was like if you're about to break, there was no way in hell that it would have been like, I know Teel is in the deal, and then be like, oh, and Houck. Like, like it wasn't. It was never going to be like that. So I knew that I felt pretty good. I texted a couple people being like, I had a feeling this was going to be, I actually said, Meidroth, get him the hell out of here. That's what I want to see. Montgomery was a hit I didn't expect.
Is that the one that's shaking you?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
What was his peak? Like, what was his ceiling?
I mean, I don't want to give like a player comp. I think he could be 260 to 280 with 30 home runs, maybe like a Teoscar, but without the, just like a younger Teoscar. Like I think he had a rocket arm. I guess Teoscar did too. I think he would have played better overall defense though, outside of, like Teoscar was like a very like -1-to-1 defensive run save guy. Mm-hmm. If you're talking ceiling, I think he could be an above average defender with a really good arm, 30 plus home run power, and probably hitting that 260, 280 range. Now, that is not what I'm saying he's going to be. But I had, when you just take a first round pick who absolutely mashes, but also, I don't know, every time these SEC guys trick me because that's the highest level of play before professional baseball.
Mm-hmm.
And dude, they all hit like 350 with like 1,000 home runs. And I'm like, that guy, I mean, has massive power. He's doing all this stuff. And then some of, Look up, JJ Bleday, Austin. He was drafted by the Blue. Austin Martin. Some of these guys that got drafted like fourth, fifth, like in the draft. Spencer Torkelson. The numbers they were putting up there. Adley Rushman's the only one you can look at and be like, yeah, that worked. But the rest of them, it was like this guy hit 370 with 38 home runs. Like, how did that happen? This guy he's going to be like the best player ever. I don't know, but I just am
there's nobody on that list that I'm like, man, I can't believe we parted ways with him. It really, to me, was the big three.
322.
It was always the big three to me. It was never the big four to me.
He had 85 RBIs in 61 games, 1187 OPS. He can't use college stats, but I just like the profile.
Oh yeah, well no, we're not talking about his college stats.
Yeah, but he had the power, he had the average, he had the defense in the arm.
Which of those four do you think has the best major league career?
They got moved?
Yeah.
Montgomery has the highest ceiling. Teel has the highest floor. I probably say Montgomery.
Montgomery over Teel?
I think so. I don't think it's. I mean, like again, Teel is the safe bet for sure.
Yeah. I mean, does Kyle Teel play this year for the White Sox?
Probably, yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't. It's kind of one of those things where it's like it doesn't. You're going to start his clock for. There's no reason to rush him, but at the same time, he's going to be their best catcher in the organization.
There's no reason to wait on him either.
Yeah, he could be the opening day starter. I don't think that would be absurd.
I think it's totally possible. And like that one, I guess if you want to talk emotions,
yeah,
he's been pitched to us as the big three and blah blah blah, and all these pictures and all these whatever, DJ Monkey Butt or whatever, whatever. I don't know. I didn't care. He was always the one that I was okay with moving.
For sure. When it was to be honest with you, to tell you how I feel about who's going to be better, you asked me that question. I thought that was really hard.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw Teel, I was like, okay. When I saw Montgomery, that's what made me sad. So I guess like that's part of it.
That'll tell you.
I felt like we've been waiting on these prospects for a long time, and there was now a path where you didn't have to trade any of them, and you could have still gotten a very, very good player. But I'm still like, I don't want to. Like, I'm kind of doing the devil's advocate here because you're so high, and I feel like for me to be to be where we need to be, I got to be low. I am very excited about Garrett Crochet being on the Boston Red Sox. I think this is. I mean, again, with prospects, like more than likely than not, you are gonna win that trade. If you look at his baseball savant page, it is hilarious. He is the filthiest.
Unbelievable.
He's one of the filthiest players ever in terms of like strikeout rates. Like if you go by his innings pitched and strikeouts, like there's no one really like him. It's like him, Sale, and Spencer Strider are like the only three in history that are like, I think it's 150 innings and 200 strikeouts maybe.
He had 209 strikeouts last year in 146 innings.
Crazy, dude. That's crazy.
Dude, the Savant has him updated to be wearing a Sox hat.
Really?
That is very cool. Well, a Red Sox hat. That is very, very cool. For those who don't have the Savant pulled up right now, if you're in the car, pitching run value 89th percentile, fastball run value 98th, expected ERA 91, expected batting average 89, fastball velo 92, chase percentage 93, whiff percentage 93, K percentage 98, walk percentage 87. He's awesome. He's just fucking awesome. He has a wide ass arm angle. He's got that straight leg delivery that I love.
Okay, that's going to be an adjustment, I think. Yeah, because I don't know. I do like unique deliveries, but
it's weird. It's weird, but I like it weird.
You know what I'm
excited kind of for? Write that down. There's the quote.
Yeah,
I like it weird.
Yeah,
shocker. Nobody knew that.
Yeah. I think it's gonna be. You know what I'm excited for is the casual fans that know his name from Twitter. but I've never actually really seen him throw a baseball.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be like, we got this ace, and then they're going to be like, whoa, this this guy? No one does it like that guy.
Yeah, there's going to be an adjustment to that. I mean, I think all you got to do is see him like blow a 98 mile an hour fastball strike 3 by somebody.
Yeah.
And oh my God, Fenway's going to, I mean, is he the opening day starter? If this is their biggest starting pitching acquisition?
I mean, he's the best starter. I don't know if you give it to Giolito just out of like the veteran thing.
I don't know. This is the last year of Giolito, barring something crazy. Only year of Giolito. This is his last year, man. It's been a long ride.
Yeah, I will say I saw him at the park more than anybody in terms of he seemed to be with the fans in the not the credential area, but next to it, behind the ropes.
Yeah,
he's there all the time, and I think that's a cool move. Yeah, no, I mean it's. Don't get me wrong. This is gonna be so sick because the thing is, he's pure Crochet. To be more positive, is like one of the filthier. Not only is just one of the best, but like he's the guy that twice a year is going to throw a one hitter. He's the guy that's going to throw an immaculate inning against like the Royals in July, and like you're just going to be like, that was sick. Like he's going to be the guy where it's like, yep, he's had 10K strikeouts in 6 straight starts. Like there's what's filth. Like he's just filth, and it's going to be so fun to watch every 5 days because that's going to be something to talk about. You have a legitimate ace again, where it's like we have this day where it's like, do not miss this start.
And I know we all talk about his fastball, like that's kind of his bread and butter, and then he's got that sweeper.
Slider.
Yeah, that's just that back foot sweeper is just it's beautiful. His changeup ain't bad. That's exactly what I was going to say. 184 batting average against on his changeup last year. He doesn't throw it a lot, but I mean, it's a legitimate changeup. If you throw it 5% of the time, yep, Scott.
Just this genuine curiosity. Does he throw it more to one side or is it like both situated? Like, is he only throw to righties?
Let's see the split there.
It should be on the baseball savant, like right where you're looking.
It's not right where I'm looking. Oh yeah, 0 to lefties.
Okay, that's what I had a feeling.
Yep.
Because lefty changeups aren't particularly they're kind of frowned upon. What?
Yeah, 0 of them to lefties. Check that out.
Wait a minute.
What's up?
His sweeper stinks? His cutter stinks? No,
doesn't stink.
His sweeper is. I mean, his cutter got hit at 270 batting average against his sweeper 224. I'm just curious because it says he has a -5 run value on breaking balls, which I don't even think a cutter wouldn't. I don't think even be. I'm pretty sure that would just be a sweeper for him, but that doesn't make a whole ton of sense. And also, his off-speed run value is 0, 54th percentile.
Yeah, it doesn't. I mean, I don't know how to assess that
run value.
The run value just by eye.
Hit. They're not getting hit. So why would? It's weird. It's very weird.
Tough to assess that for sure.
Yeah. I've never really understood the run value thing. It's just the only thing I like about him is that you can compare them to other players. But yeah, this is exciting. He's going to be filthy, and I just hope they pair it with something.
I'm keeping my eyes on updates.
I would love it. Oh, God. News would be so sick.
I don't know how to say this dude's name. Jonathan Losiga?
Lasagna.
Yeah, lasagna to the Yankees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's back.
Yeah. What are you going to do? Off-season's over. Real quick, Scott. If I may.
It's fine. I'll allow it.
Could I? Just really quick?
Yeah, just for a second, though.
because I gotta tell people the good
And
news.
I'm giving you the space to do that right now.
If you want to go to opening day, let's say you want to see, I don't know, Garrett Crochet. Get the nod, opening day, 2025, Boston, Mass. You got to download the Game Time app. Game Time is a new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. I bought tickets today on Game Time. May I tell you about it?
Yeah, make it quick.
Wednesday night game, Citi Field, Mets Phils. I'm behind home plate for $40.
Where is this game?
Citi Field.
Why are you going to be there?
I'm going to see System of a Down at MetLife.
Yeah, you know what? I've never heard of that.
You've never heard of System of a Down?
Does that surprise you? Is that a normal band in your estimation? Is that a mainstream?
Yes.
Is there a song I would know?
Chop Suey. I hate that that's what I have to say, but that's
That doesn't sound
Chop
like a
Suey,
song.
dude. They're so big. Maybe they're a little old now. Chop Suey is 1.5 billion plays.
Okay, all right.
Toxicity has over 1 billion. Lonely Day has 687 million. Aerials has 600 million. BYOB 650 million.
It's not ringing a bell.
Well, I can't play it on the show. But yeah, get on Game Time. Also, where I got the System of a Down tickets. You want to come? You want to see System of a Down? You want to see Korn? You know Korn.
Oh man. Well, hold on. You're probably going with somebody, right? It's already like booked and final and everything.
I have an extra ticket.
Didn't you say?
Take it away.
Isn't that like for someone though? You had somebody.
No, literally no one. I bought it. I bought it because I was like, I'm going to do the show with Scott later, and maybe he'll want to come. The all-in pricing feature, toggling it, shows the total upfront, so you got no surprise fees at checkout. And the seat views. Oh my God, the seat views. You get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. You can see that's exactly what I did. I saw that I was behind home. I was like, you got to be kidding me. And I bought them. So download the Game Time app today, create an account, and use code CLNS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply, obviously, duh. Again, create an account and redeem code, I'm going to spell it out, CLNS for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
It's game time.
It's Game Time, dude.
I got a couple things.
Yeah, say it.
So, as you know, we haven't been the most engaged of all time in actually like going to the games the last couple of years. Now, that was mostly me. There was more times where you were like, "Do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Not really." Do you think with Crochet in place, we end up going a lot more potentially, even just to his starts? Do you think this increases your attendance?
I want to. I mean, I would get a year-long credential this year if that's on the table. I would do that. I would go to 60 games this year. Yeah, I think they push this year. Yeah, I want to be at Fenway a lot this year.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was expecting an answer that was more like, I'll go to all of Crochet's home starts, but
no, I want to go to like 60 games. I want it to be rare that I'm not there for a homestand. That's what I would say. Yeah.
Wow.
So make that happen.
I got an update.
The Padres also are listening on their star players. So
they mentioned Bogarts. Well, sorry, not they. John Heyman mentioned Bogarts.
I mean,
bring him back. 28. What do you get? 28 a year or something?
What are they eating 80%? I don't know, dude. I don't know. I will say this. Just I mean, listen. This is a Crochet reaction pod, and I'm stoked beyond belief that Crochet is here. I do not want Nolan Arenado. I do not want Alex Bregman. I don't want to touch the infield. I really don't. What's up?
Got an update for you as of like 2 minutes ago.
Oh, hit me.
Ken Rosenthal said free agent third baseman Alex Bregman does not seem to be a priority at the moment. If the Red Sox want a third baseman, perhaps they could trade for Nolan Arenado. But That's a report that it doesn't seem like they're interested, and then a speculation or Arenado. So you don't want either. That's probably the best case scenario for you. That report.
Yeah, but I mean, also there was a report that they weren't in on the Crochet trade, and then that just happened out of nowhere.
It does pick up steam for sure, but that was a reactionary thing. Like, it made sense for them to flip there. Nothing happened to create a chain reaction, I feel like, with the Red Sox. Like, they probably weren't in on Crochet until Fried made the decision. Then when Fried made a decision, he was next on their list and made them more desperate. In this case, it's not like there's somebody that's going to sign. Like, you know, unless one of them gets moved, like either Bregman signs or Arenado gets traded, then there could be a change-up. But while they're both on the market, if they're saying that, you know, Bregman doesn't seem to be a priority and Arenado we don't know, that's probably the best case news for you if you don't want them.
Also in that Rosenthal report, after getting burned on 9-figure contracts for Sale and David Price, Red Sox owner John Henry is reluctant to award long-term deals to pitchers, according to sources briefed on his thinking.
Yep.
So,
I mean, you know how it goes. Like, if you tried it once and it doesn't work, it's, you know, it's never going to work out again, no matter what, even if it's a different player, a different era, and a different, you know, situation entirely.
Yeah. Given the fact that some baseball players got hurt.
If Sale wasn't going to stay healthy, no one was. If you can't keep Chris Sale healthy, you can't keep anyone healthy. That's what they're saying.
I mean, I would get it if that report came out early in the year or, like, you know, right before the offseason or something.
Yeah, weird timing after the full offseason where they said they were going to spend. And you also, again, you think it's not going to be a 9-figure deal to keep Crochet in town? Are we just getting rid of those 2 prospects for 2 years and keeping it moving?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Yeah, you don't go and get a 25-year-old ace to do nothing with him.
He's also the most, like, injury. Like, Fried and Burns have been incredibly durable. This guy has, like, 200 innings total in his career, and it's because he's made, you know, I mean, the innings pitched 54, 12 and 2/3, and then 146. Like, you have no idea what's going on there. If that was the argument, this wouldn't have been the player that made the most sense, I feel like. But I think it's just more like you got to invest. It's kind of random, and you got to take your shots. And I don't know. If you're worried about that, then Burns was the guy you put all your money into. Although you could have said the same thing about Giolito last year, which is kind of my point. But you say, well, if you ever want to have good pitching, you're going to lose some of those battles.
Yeah, I just don't get the timing of that. I'm going to choose to not believe that report.
I like that.
Reluctant and unwilling are 2 totally different things. Like, needing to, like, really talk to John and be like, hey, look, I promise it's a good investment. Corbin Burns is very good. You got to trust me here.
Low.
Yeah, is a lot different than don't even bother asking John about this one. This one is not happening.
Yeah.
Like, that's totally different. And I just, sure, he's reluctant after getting burned. Sure. I would be reluctant to cook if I burned my hand on the stove a couple of times, but I would still make food because you got to. You know, what a great fucking analogy. Did I fucking just nail that? Did I just nail that?
It's good.
That was good. You can't stay in the heat. You know, don't go in the kitchen while I'm cooking in there because it gets hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look out. Any other thoughts on things that are going on, Scott? You want to get any other takes out there? You want to empty your brain of any thoughts for me?
Yeah.
All right. I won't interrupt you. Go ahead.
Every time you say that.
Every time you say that, what?
You end up interrupting me.
I wouldn't do that. Go ahead.
All right. So the one thing we haven't talked about yet is the don't do it. The one thing that we haven't
what?
One thing I'm just saying we haven't talked at all really about the Seattle Casas stuff and, you know.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That ain't happening or I'll kill myself.
Right. But the Seattle trade could, you know, a Seattle trade could Could happen.
Right. As long I'm fine with any trade that doesn't involve Cassis. Listen, I mean, Cassis are the big three. That's really it. And like, I don't know what it takes to get Castillo or whoever it is that they have their eyes on over there. But I think it's strange.
I think it would be dumb to further deplete the system for another like again, in this case again.
As you were saying, sorry, my fingers slipped. What were you saying?
Yeah, it shouldn't have been on the trigger. It would be my thing.
It was. It's my bad.
Yeah. Anyway, I think pairing two trades together doesn't make a ton of sense for me.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Gone. I mean, I would definitely, after the Crochet thing, like I would definitely prefer that they just go out and spend on somebody. Like, Flaherty? I think Flaherty is great. I mean, what is Flaherty projected to get right now?
You want to go what? Spot Track, MLB trade rumors? MLB trade rumors.
Google.
Hold on. MLB trade rumors has
5 years,
Flaherty,
100 million.
This says 115. It's the same ballpark. I hate that. I don't think Jack Flaherty is a guy I would want them to invest in because he's an up year, down year guy. He doesn't have any consistency. He looked great that going into the trade deadline. You remember him as a frontline starter at the trade deadline, but like his last few years of the Cardinals, it was like this guy. I mean, get it together. We thought you were going to be this ace, and then it's just been problem after problem. Walks and just not what he was doing early in the career. It looked like he was going to be a Cy Young caliber player earlier in the career, and he just was so inconsistent. Walker Buehler, that one is like buy low. You're not buying high like you are in Flaherty, so that's why I like him because he's kind of similar but has more years of consistency and is more of like a buy low, high reward type of guy. I'm sure he's somebody that gets like a lucrative 1-year deal with like a option-based contract where he can either take the pillow deal or he can opt into something that guarantees him a little bit, but he can get out of it if he plays as well as he's expected to. Yeah.
Give him the Giolito deal.
If you can give Walker Buehler that deal, I'm okay with that. I don't want to do that with Flaherty. Manaea, I would sign outright.
Yeah.
Eovaldi signed. We haven't talked about that. That's kind of
whatever. I kind of would have been. I would have been a little, but honestly, for whatever reason, bringing back Eovaldi or Pivetta, I would have just kind of felt like, that's not.
Well, that's two different things.
They're two very different guys, but yeah. I would have felt about it. I don't know. Like we're trying to move up in the world, trying to move forward, not backward.
Eovaldi's money would have scared me. I did not think he was a $25 million a year for 3 more years pitcher at 35 years old.
Yeah.
I would have expected him to be closer to like 20.
What do you think about that deal for Buehler? $375 with like an opt out.
I would,
or a team option. Say a team option after 2.
At that point, I think I'd be like a little. I know it's different because of the years, but at that point, I would almost just say, why don't you just go big on like a Burns? Because if you're paying 25, the difference between 25 and 36 to be with the quality of player, that's not that big of a gap. The years are obviously different, but yeah, Buehler. I would say more like the Giolito thing, like you said earlier, where both sides can get out of it. I'd be okay with that with Buehler for sure. Something like 1 year, $20 million, and you get some sort of way where both teams can opt out, or both sides. I mean, Manaea is somebody you could give like a similar to Eovaldi contract, I think.
Yeah,
he's okay.
Jeff Hoffman.
I mean, filthy.
Yeah,
different situation than not a starter necessarily, but him and Tanner Scott I want bad. Like those are two guys I really would love to have on the team. But again, that's why it's weird to me. Like those are the kind of moves, if you're going to trade and save money on Crochet, overpay on the relievers. Overpay on, a couple areas. Like, why not?
How many games does he start in his career, Hoffman?
You trying to make Hoffman a starter?
He's had 50 starts in his career.
Mm-hmm.
Just none since going to the Phils.
How did that go?
I don't think I can look at just like his starter ERA or whatever.
You can if you do the splits, but I can tell you the first year we had 16 starts, had a 23, he had a 5.89. The year he was a full-time starter, he had a 6.56. And then the year that he had 11 out of 31, he had a 4.56. So I'd imagine those probably didn't go super awesome for him. Since being a full-time reliever, 2.41 ERA, 2.17 ERA.
He was a kid, dude. He was 26 years old. He was
right. And so I don't think a guy going into his age 32 season is the time you make that switch.
No. Quintana?
No.
Because the thing is, like, again, I'm a guy who has way too much faith in guys who are like prospects. I have no faith in. But if you've had a glimmer of any kind of success in the big leagues, I have your fucking back forever.
Okay.
Which is why adding another piece to the rotation and kicking out Cutter Crawford, you better be goddamn worth it. You better be good if you're kicking Cutter Crawford out of the rotation in my eyes. I don't know why that is, because I like him. I like watching Cutter Crawford pitch.
It is. You think it's definitely him? I mean, I think he'd be the best reliever, but Bayo is. How do you?
Bayo, no way. They think so highly of Bayo. They were trying to extend him last year.
They did extend him.
They did extend him last year.
But in what world? How in your right mind could you leave Bayo in and not Crawford? Crawford was so much better.
Can I tell you something cool that I noticed about Cutter Crawford?
Tell me.
I was looking at his game log. Through 10 starts, he had a 2 ERA. Through 20 starts, he had a 3 ERA. And then at 30 starts, he had a 4 ERA.
That is pretty cool. That's what you like to hear. Huh?
That's what you want to hear.
Yep.
So if you can keep him to like 10, 15 starts a year, nails.
Oh my God, dude, why didn't we do this already?
What?
We didn't even mention this. We lost Danny Jansen.
Yeah, well, I was obviously saving that for closing thoughts because that's going to be like another hour of the show.
Yeah. After trading catcher away too, that was the first thing you do. You lose your catcher of the future, and then you trade your backup catcher of the future.
Well, about 10 minutes ago, in the Rule 5 draft, the Boston Red Sox acquired catcher Carlos Narvaez from the New York Yankees. No, that is not the Rule 5 draft.
I was gonna say because the Rule 5 draft happened like quite a bit ago. I don't know how that could have happened. Sneaky.
This is just a straight up trade.
Yeah. That was a good pitcher, Elmer Rodriguez Cruz. Again, another one of those like Dominican ball pitchers that like dominated against like 16-year-olds, but he was the best 16-year-old out there, 19-year-old, whatever.
Carlos Narvaez. What did he do last year? Anything?
254 with 11 home runs in 96 games at AAA. So, I don't know.
13 big league at bats.
Emmanuel Valdez, DFA'd.
It's brutal. Absolutely brutal.
I think it's okay. Hit 231 with 3 hits last year for the Yankees.
Times are a-changing, Scott. The Sox are actually willing to do shit. Whether or not you love this trade, whether or not you are hurt by Montgomery's exit, whether or not you think that he's going to whatever, them ponying up and finally saying, let's invest in the team, or not invest, but but let's push to make this major league club better. Let's acquire a guy that a lot of people have their eyes on. Let's win a war, maybe not a bidding war, but a trade war. Let's get a guy, a dog, a pig. And they got him. That's something. The Red Sox of the past couple of years, they don't do that shit. They don't do that shit. Masataka Yoshida, probably the biggest dog they've landed in years. And I guess Trevor Story, but that was the last second, scoop up the garbage in the middle of spring training move.
Yeah, I
Not
agree.
to call Trevor Story garbage.
Yeah, Crochet, it's very exciting. They got a lot better today. That's a fact. I would love to see the fan graphs. They do like the team roster thing. Like I'd love to see what happens there. I mean, it's pretty simple. You just add his WAR to the Red Sox's WAR, but be interesting.
I put a couple of dollars on the Boston Red Sox to win the World Series.
Oh,
just because, like, why not?
If it was a couple of dollars, actually, then yeah, I guess why not?
It was $20 to win $700.
I feel like you should have got better odds for that.
Plus $3,500 felt good enough to me to be like, you know what, dude? Why not? Because if they go out at the time, I was like, if they get Soto, if they get Burns and Snell, like, why would they not be
right? If any of those things happen, I'd agree with you.
They were plus 3,500. Now they're plus 2,500.
I will say, as is, the Yankees and Orioles are really good. Outside of that, in the AL, is there anyone definitively better?
I'll tell you, the odds have the Yankees, Orioles, and Astros as the only American League teams above.
As far as the Astros, we'll see. I think there's we don't know what's going to happen with Bregman. There are Kyle Tucker trade rumors. There are Valdez trade rumors. They could be a lot worse before they get better. I don't know what they're going to do, but they probably end up being contenders. I don't really know why they would do any of those things. But yeah, I guess I could see those three teams, but I would say the Red Sox are fourth.
Yeah.
I think that's fair.
I think it's very
as
fair.
long as they don't do the trade Casas for something and try and as Bloom would say, I think it was rob Peter to pay Paul or something like that. It does feel like that's the kind of move that doesn't make them better. It just makes them different.
But you know what? I'm okay with them being different.
Not if it's Casas related.
That's true. That's the only difference I don't want. Well, he's here.
Navarez.
Carlos Navarez is here.
If you told me this morning that the Red Sox and the Yankees make a trade today, I would have been like, oh boy, what is this going to be? They're not even logical trade partners this offseason. They have similar needs.
Yeah. No. That just feels like not even their GMs made that move. That feels like just like the stand-ins while they were on a lunch break. Like they came back like, hey, everything
interns,
good?
Two interns were talking and they didn't even know that like what do you do in the Yankees? And then they're just talking about their organizations. Like, yeah, I actually like that. Let me see if let me bring this up. What do you want? Doesn't matter? That's what I thought. Okay, yeah. Let me see if we can get him.
Yeah, Craig doesn't even know about this deal yet.
Yeah.
All right, folks. No need to. Well, thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back. We'll be back if and when there's a big deal.
When Burns signs later tonight, that's going to be another hour of podcasting, so get ready.
Come on back. But yeah, we'll probably be back when there's another deal. If not, we'll be back in the middle of next week. But otherwise, if there's big news, know that we'll be there. You can follow us on the socials at ITM_pod. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. You can follow him at Scott Neville 46, just like the age Garrett Crochet will be when his deal is up after the Sox give him a 21-year, 900 or I was gonna say $99 million extension because he did. John Henry's afraid of the 9-figure deals, so
it's a good deal in my opinion.
That would be a pretty good deal. That would be a pretty good deal.
Some money, but
yeah,
try.
Yeah. For Scott Neville, I'm Joey Copponi. Go Sox, kid.